Hello everybody, welcome back to the Jeremy Apiary and Jeremy Farms. So I have to do a little bit of treatment on one of the hives.
This is the bottom board of the flow hive, and on there was definitely a lot of mites.
The principle behind this is you put oxalic acid crystals inside of this aluminum milled plate. You hook this up to a battery and that will then provide heat in order to vaporize the crystals. You keep the crystal vaporization going. It probably vaporizes everything in just about 3 minutes. You keep the hive plugged up for about 10 minutes afterwards.
So I'm not a big fan of needing to do this, but it was pretty bad. There were a lot of mites. I did a count and it wasn't good. You do have to wear proper air filtration if you're vaporizing these substances. Now you need to make sure you do not have any honey supers that you're planning on collecting whenever you're doing these kind of treatments. That's just par for the course. It's not supposed to hurt the bees, but you know, that's how it is. Here I am trying to use the vaporizer in the flow hive, but down in Australia they do not have varroa mites, and the lip of the bottom screen does not allow for this vaporizer to fit, and a lot of vaporizers will not fit in flow hives, I discovered at that moment. Alternatively then, I use the back where the tray is for the bottom board and would let it go up through there. It wasn't ideal, especially on that first day, but I kind of just dealt with it and let it be. Then it's time to kind of plug up that so the vapors don't actually leak out to the rest of the air. Later on, I did cut a piece of 3/4 inch plywood for future treatments that I put on the bottom instead of using the plastic tray. The bees do not like having their hive completely plugged up, so I would recommend you wear the appropriate protective equipment, especially if you're skittish about these things, but that's just my thoughts. They did not like this one bit. After 3 minutes of vaporization, you disconnect the battery, let everything sit for about 10 minutes to let it filter through the system, and then you remove it and get your hive back in order. This is probably about 10 minutes later. Now, of note, you do need to do this about 3 times, spaced out every 5 days, to make sure you get any of the mites that are still in development inside of the brood chamber, because the mites and development might be behind some of the cappings that the bees are coming from. Like I said, I don't like doing this. Luckily, none of my Lands hive are having any mite issues. I do believe this nucleus colony had these mites come with them when I got them and installed them.
Well, I'm hoping that was the last treatment I'm going to have to do on that hive. I think that potentially when I was putting in the oxalic acid on some of my treatments, I had too much in there and some of it was boiling over and it didn't get the full treatment. So this was hopefully the last one I have to do. It's not a big fan of doing it in the first place, but it was pretty bad in that hive. Other hives seem to be doing well. I'm going to throw on the Flow Super later on and we'll see how things look. So thanks for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you at Jeremy Apiary, Jeremy Farms.